Hey guys, so I kind of wanted to show you what I've been working on as far as it comes to branded. I recently came first at a 5 round locals the day the ban list went into effect, and I think that branded is very powerful this format because the end boards got weaker, and so breaking boards a lot easier, which this deck already did well. So I wanted to showcase that the branded fusion limit did actually nothing. So we'll start off with the main deck. Start off with just 3 Albaz, the standard stuff, and his like monsters. You got 3 Cartesia as well. I think Cartesia is just mandatory at a 3 of just because like you want to have access to Puppet Lock as much as possible, and then things with like Albion and like fusion duplication, getting her free specials easy, along with like high spirits and stuff like that. So her specials always gonna be live, and so she just protects like your Quem and your Owlbear from resolving, which is more important like now because you only have like one branded fusion. And then 3 Albion, it's just upstart, and then Kit and Mercurier. If you want to be on the lure build now, you might want to pick more than one Mercurier, but I personally don't think the lure build is like the best because it creates a lot of awkward hands, but it's still mandatory because having the negate is still good, and like having it with high spirits is fine as well sometimes because you can pitch it by like pitching a run from Rex as well, and then Kit obviously is what you need to like switch your branded fusion and also recur your branded fusion once you're done with it, and then recycling things like retribution as well. Uh, Usually I would side this out going second, but you kind of have to keep it in going second now because that's the only way to recur your branded fusion besides like retribution and like tragedy to reset it. Then we got our Despia stuff, 2 Quem, 3 Aliber as always, 1 Tragedy. This is normal. Tragedy is really good. I also like keeping it going second sometimes as well, is because it is able to recur stuff. Uh, in the grind game, like on turn 3, if you're going first, you need to like branded fusion to like send this and Albaz to make a Labellion, and then like banishes to reset your branded in red because that's the only way you're gonna recur it besides like Kit. But Kit's usually grabbing your like branded fusion back or retribution back in the first place. Uh, then you got the branded spells. Of course, when branded fusion, 3 opening, 2 high spirits, 1 red, lost, and retribution, which is standard again. I think 2 high spirits is still better than 3 and 1. 1 is like just you want to see this card a lot actually because you're playing like a lot of targets with like Serenir and stuff like that. But I feel like 3 is a bit too much because you will open hands where it's just like Quem, Cartesia, or like it's like light monsters and no way to like actually resolve this without like using a Graguanol. And I hate getting Graguanol out of like extra deck first because the second one does come up a lot, and I feel like just burning the first one that quickly isn't always the best. So I think 2 is like the best for high spirits, and everything else is standard, of course. Then at the Bestials, 1 Labellion, 1 Magnemite, 3 Serenir. Maxing out on them because Fiendsmith is still like the best engine in the game right now, so you want to be able to hit those. Magnemite's just a crazy card. Being able to add Albaz to like break boards going second is very good as well. And then of course you're playing 3 Serenir for high spirits, and that's like pretty self-explanatory. It's actually an engine as well if you're playing as a darker light deck. Then Puppet, of course, the card's like the best card in the deck, honestly. It just wins you games by itself. And then 3 Fusion Duplication as consistency cards. Card's insane. It just searches your guys out, helps you break board with Albaz, and then also if you open like this plus like Quem or Aliber, or just this in Serenir, like Cartesia Serenir is now like a 1 card banded fusion, which is again important because we're down to 1. Then like our non-engine, I guess you could say, 3 Thrust, 3 Dark Ruler. I do want to side this out for droplets. I don't think Dark Ruler is as mandatory as it was last format because Apollosa's not here. I feel like being able to hit things like an IP that Snake Eye Stone from the back row with droplet is much more impactful than like anything else, or being able to hit like a Desi E-Ray that they can't respond to. I feel like that's just better than trying to like play Dark Ruler. I like this more last format because droplet sending from hand, like I hate giving up cards with droplet, but droplet just has more utility because it's a quick play spell. So I feel like you want to sell this out for a droplet now instead of Dark Ruler. This I never even like really used this honestly. When I went to locals, and then just target. You got duplication, mandatory to have at least one, and then one card I really think is gonna come back in the deck is Eclipse. I know the list at I think like the most recent YCS in America, or is it the YCS or Nats? Played 3 of this card. I I totally agree with playing it as well, especially now because the boards are weaker. Eclipse can really hit like the end boards of like Snake Eye and Yubel, because being able to like if they go like Solar Rage target your guy, you can like Eclipse flip face down, Eclipse flips down Caesar, which is like the worst card to play against when it comes to those two decks. It also blanks Desi E-Ray because it checks the Eclipse on res, and Eclipse will make the like Sequentia like go to the graveyard by flipping it face down, and then also going first it just like dodges impermanent stuff, which is very important because again we're at 1 Branded Fusion, so Aliber needs to resolve a lot. And then one called by, this is mandatory for things like Ash Blossom, because like that's how we lose games, is getting hit by Ash. Then that's it for the main deck. It is 46 cards. I think 46 is a good number to play now because we're down to 1 Branded Fusion, and then it makes you see your side cards more than like playing the 60 build with grass and stuff that people are brewing up. Then extra deck, got 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, 1 Lebellion, 1 Titaniclad, 1 Brum, what's the Abelanidus, and then 1 Sanctifier. Laddie's still here. Card's crazy. Now, like, you can play this card without even like doing Puppet Lock, just like ending on him as a non-targetable, just like not ending on, but like something on your opponent's turn as like a non-targetable guy, and just like being able to choose whatever attributes you want to fuse with like an Albaz engrave, and like any card they have engraved or any card you have engraved is just like really good. Like being able to like Albion someone like this from your graveyard and like an Albaz to make a Mirror Jade, and then end trigger this on your in the end phase is really powerful. So that's it for like the Albaz fusions. And then you got 2 Grand mandatory, honestly, if you want to Puppet Lock consistently, and then 1 Quiritus, 1 Stapelia, 1 Furious Dragon, and then 1 Chimera for like our like utility one. This is more of like a requirement, honestly. Like you can play this or Luluwalith, but I like this one more because if they out it with a card effect, you can still like summon it back. And Luluwalith is kind of like a, I think it's got 1 more card, honestly. People will play into it if they go into the extra deck because it's kind of hard to get over. But I feel like Quiritus is just better because of the attack drain as well. It does come up against Tenpai sometimes. And then Chimera is the one that I go into the least. These 2 I actually really like a lot. I go into these like the most out of like the 4 here. But Chimera, I feel like you should still play it in the first place, because if you can't like really play with your Brandon and stuff, and you have to like just have a disruption with Brandon in red, this is good to go into to have like 2 or 1 pops, and then also draw your cards for like disruption or follow up. So I feel like that's still good to have. And then the side deck is a little experimental stuff I'm trying, but for Shifter, since you got cards like Ritual Beast, like Tenpai, very prominent sister decks in the format, I feel like you need to have a plan besides just ending on a Drago Stapelia. So we're playing 1 Hawk, 1 Dark, and 1 Colossus. So like going first against like Tenpai, going like Branded Fusion, our plan is to send like an Albaz and the Dark, and then Dark triggers to add the Hawk. We make a Lebellion. Lebellion shuffles back the Albaz and the Lebellion to make a Stapelia, and then we use the Hawk to summon the Dark to summon the Colossus. So ending on like a Floodgate and a Stapelia to like hit a normal summon Hydra, or like a Chandra when they normal summon it, I think is very important, or like or very powerful. I feel like that's the best we can do Unrestricted right now without like putting more bricks in our deck or like taking up more side deck space. But I feel like it was very important to have Shifter in our plans, like regardless. So that's it for like the Shifter plans. 2 duplication, 1 tactics, and 1 debarrier for more thrust targets. This obviously going first. This side for going first sometimes as well, because you know people are like putting in Ash and Bystials. So being able to like look at their hand and see what they're coming with, like going second, is good as well. Not only just going second. And D barrier is again for just like 10 pi. If we get hit with Ash Blossom or Shifter, we can just hit this and at least live a turn. And then we got Masquerade just for time purposes. I'm really going to this card honestly. In this deck, you have to learn how to scoop it up quickly because like going second, grind games just take a long time. So you have to like play at a good pace and play accordingly, or else you just like scoop and like go to the next game. And then 3 Phantasme for going second against like the Yubel, Fiendsmith, or like Snake Eye Fiendsmith decks, or any one of his links honestly. Or like going first against 10 pi as well. Just like being able to like put a seals on the board is good as well. Like when they go into seals, being able to put this on the board as something to like disrupt things like impermanent and stuff like that. And just the draw power is very important as well. And then for back row, 1 dragon and 3 evenly. I don't really side on the dragon as much, honestly. I don't expect like floodgates as much anymore, except against like Runic or Snake Eye, because I assume that Snake Eye's gonna be running things like, you know, like deck lockdown now that Skill Drain's gone. But evenly is still just a really good board breaker against like Runic Stun and Snake Eye and everything, to be honest, because like the only disruption against things like this is just like Desi E-Ray. So it's very good to have. So that's pretty much it. This format, I feel like it's going to be really good for Branded, and I'm excited to see what it does in the upcoming weeks. So yeah, that's it.